staying in tune with you and your community.
North Shores FM 99.3.
Brecky Club with Ron and Jane.
Now, this year would have marked Janis Joplin's 72nd year, but on the 4th of October 1970, Janis was found dead from a drug overdose at the age of 27. Now, her critically acclaimed album Pearl was released after her death, and we're going to be hearing from the producer and director of a new production called Pearl, the Janis Joplin Story. And producer and director Chris Keeble from Fish Out of Water Productions will be our guest in just a short while, and also a very familiar voice and jazz and blues specialist, let's call her, Liza Olbach, will also be our guest in just a short while. So let's play one of the tracks from the album Pearl.
Janis Joplin, the move over from 1970. Brecky Club, Ron and Jane at FM 99.3, 26 minutes to 8 o'clock.
Now, coming up at Lizottes DY on Friday, March the 13th, is a big event. Pearl, the Janis Joplin Story, is going to be presented. And producer-director Chris Keeble from Fish Out of Water Productions, and also the beautiful and jazz and blues specialist Liza Olbach, whom is familiar to many of our FM 99.3 listeners, is here in the studio. Good morning. Thank you for coming in so early.
Oh, hello.
It's great to have you here. This is a huge production. Chris, you have a background as a producer and director of many large festivals and events and music productions, including the life and music of Stevie Wright.
Yes.
Was there a particular motivational memory that you can think of that was the moment that you thought, let me think about doing something on Janis Joplin?
Yes and no, but I'm a bit of I've got this artistic bent, but I'm also a commercial realist, and I just I look at things in a way I think, well, look, that can work on a number of levels, both creatively and also on a business level. And I hadn't seen anything done to the level that I'm taking the show in Australia before, or really I haven't seen one anywhere done, because she's such an interesting subject, but also I reckon a difficult subject to capture, which is why I've engaged Liza, because I need someone that can deliver, because she's not an easy subject to sing constantly for nearly 90 minutes anyway.
Yeah, and so Pearl, the story that you're going to be bringing to the stage, I guess people would think of tribute, but it's not necessarily going to be along those lines.
Probably that's one of the hardest sells to get across when I'm pitching to venues. It's not your typical cover band tribute show, and the ones that are out there, and they're all valid for their own reasons. They sort of fill up their shows with a lot of Woodstock and Cocker and Hendrix, all valid and good, but this is all around Janis, and there's narrative between the songs that sort of creates a thread that continues a journey and a story, and which I've tried to capture the fragility, I guess, of Janis, because what she came across as a bit of a tough old broad, but really she was quite a fragile bird with a lot of insecurities.
A lot of layers.
Yeah, so the show is really a sort of, we pay homage to Janis. Liza, I don't want Liza up there pretending to be Janis, dressing like Janis or anything like that.
Liza can't.
So I really wanted to give this, a good classy delivery with integrity and honesty, and just we're paying homage to her and telling her story.
Now, with your musical director, Jeremy Edwards, was it then working also with Liza about song selection for the show?
Well, I did a lot of research on Janis, and I virtually picked the songs.
Oh, okay.
And then I got input from Jeremy and Liza and the crew, but we've pretty closely kept to the songs that I've chosen, and I chose those simply because that's what everyone's going to want to hear. And there's I've got to deliver for an audience and sell tickets, and so all the songs are, I believe, well-known songs, and I'm Mrs. General Public. So if I knew about it, then I figured it needed to go in the show. So there's a couple of songs there that we all talked about, but we've got 16 Janis songs in the production, and we've got 3 other songs. One from Bessie Smith. She was heavily influenced by Bessie Smith, so we've got one there. No one loves you when you're down and out. Which sort of all the songs. There's it all goes with the story. And then there's a the Leonard Cohen song, Chelsea Hotel, which he wrote about Janice,
Right.
and a Dylan song as well. But yeah, mainly with Janice.
And Liza, how are you approaching the interpretation and the performance of these songs too?
Sleepless nights.
Oh, I'm sure that's not the case.
It's like nothing I've ever sung, so it's a great challenge. She's just so unique. I didn't realise just how unique and how good she is.
Your voice is phenomenal.
Thank you.
And you've got such a powerful voice. How are you going about connecting with the story of Janice?
I'm connecting with the songs, I think. The songs, the lyrics, the time it was done, because I can relate to the 60s, 70s. I love that period. So I'm relating to that more and just trying to get myself, but channeling her, having her vibe and her passion and her, and it's sort of, and it's a similar style. I love blues jazz.
Yeah.
And she's got a bit of a quite a bit of a soulful side there. So I'm just discovering all the songs more.
And getting into that depth of. Now, on stage with you will be a band.
Jeremy Edwards is the musical director, and so he does guitar and vocals. And then we've got Rick Mellick on keys, who so a great lineup there, and vocals.
Both singers, yeah.
Yeah, and we're also going to be graced with the presence of Greg, Liza's husband, on percussion.
Oh, fabulous.
So that's the sort of intimate travelling show, if you like. I mean, there's economies to this. You've mentioned the Stevie Wright and the Easy Beat show, and I got to say I learnt so much. That's a cast and crew of 9, so I'll never go back there again.
Right.
That's an expensive...
And all boys.
Yeah, it's like herding cats, that one. So that was, I learnt a lot. So when I spoke to Jeremy Edwards about the idea, I said, there's going to be some conditions here and guidelines. It needs to be economical. I can't do the huge cast, because in this day and age, venues just aren't taking on board such big productions. So, but we do have a bigger version show where we add drums and bass for those bigger venues. And my dream, and I'm working on it now, is I want to do the Opera House in 2016 with a full orchestra backing.
How good with that?
But I need some sponsors for that. So that's my next project.
You've already got about...
Mercedes-Benz.
Mercedes-Benz, that's exactly right, yeah. I'm setting up some meetings with those guys.
It's not outrageous.
I can just see it now. They're beautiful cars on the forecourt,
Right. Well, we have heard from Richard from Burwood, who's called in, and he's got a photo of 356 Porsche in front of him right now. And when he heard that we were going to be talking about the Janis Joplin story, he was just like, well,
Janice's Porsche has been found back in the States and all resurrected, and the paintwork's done, because she had it completely done psychedelic and the whole thing. She had it all customised paintwork. So that's on display in some museum in LA, and I'm over there in about 3 weeks. I might swing by and get a selfie.
Yeah, well, that's the go, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fabulous. Now, of course, Rick Mellick, whom you mentioned, is going to be on keys, and he's toured with Joe Bonamassa in the past, and fabulous showman on keyboard.
He's
and
brilliant.
It's a fabulous show, and very excited to know that Pearl, the Janis Joplin story, is going to be taking off. And, of course, you can see it at Lizottes DY on Friday, March the 13th. And we always thank Lizottes for sponsoring FM 99.3. And thank you very much for coming in.
And there's a whole heap of info on the website too. There's pictures, and there's a sort of little show reel as well, which is pearljanisjoplin.com.au.
Thank you very much, Chris Keeble from Fish Out of Water Productions, producer and director of Pearl, the Janis Joplin story, and also Liza Olbach.
Staying in tune with you and your community.
North Shores FM 99.3.
Breaking Club with Ron and Jane on FM 99.3 at 13 minutes to 8 o'clock.
And we have been introducing you to this fabulous new show that's going to be at Lizottes DY on Friday, March the 13th from 8:30pm. You can, of course, go to the Lizottes website, find out more information, but more importantly, Pearl, the Janis Joplin story, also has some fabulous information, not only about Janis Joplin, but also all the other events that are already booked and ready to go. The website is pearljanisjoplin.com.au. And now something very special for our Northside Radio FM 99.3 listeners. You may have had an opportunity to hear Liza Olbach in the past, but now Liza's going to sing for us and for you right now on your trip into work this morning.
Just a bit.
Just a bit.
Just a bit.
Mate, what about one verse? Can I get you to?
All right,
I've put her on the spot. I'm so sorry.
This is live radio.
You have to clap your hands.
Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends are drive Porsches. I must make Mercedes Benz.
Thank you so much,
How
Liza.
good was that?
And thank you so very much. Special guest Liza Olbach performing Pearl, the Janis Joplin story, as we said at Lizottes DY Friday, March the 13th. And we thank Lizottes for sponsoring FM 99.3. Thank you, Chris Keeble, who is the producer-director of Fish Out of Water Productions, and also they've got musical direction with Jeremy Edwards. Chris Keeble, thank you very much for coming in so early. It's wonderful to have you
Thank
here.
you. Appreciate the support.
Cheers, guys.
All the very best, guys. All the very
Thank you
best.
so very much, Liza
to see you
Olbach. You've made everybody's commute in to work and morning
so.